involved. They should have been up there, and you should have been supporting them somewhere else. You understand? That's what I felt.
Okay, Anthony.
I love you. I thought you were really cool. The reason why I thought, it takes big to stand up here and say that you wanted an angel to give you some money to talk to women and to go on holidays or field trips. Sorry, with them. I thought I like the way you pre-worded it, and you worded it really well. But that was what it was down to. You wanted to do some research and discuss with women more about what women want. Right? Once you know how to work that out, let me know. and to go on different trips to find out more about what women in other countries want as well. So I thought that was interesting, but jokes apart, everyone said the same thing. The question for you as well is, what's the value proposition? And what you're doing by doing what you did is you're doing exactly what, with all the gender equality that we're doing right now, how dare you, when I say how dare you presume that you think differently than women? How dare you think that you have a different way of thinking than women think? How dare you turn up without a woman beside you to actually pitch about women with women in the room? Again, it's very ballsy, but if there was a woman on this panel, which there should have been, they'd rip you to bits in terms of that. I think what you're trying to do overall in terms of the concept, actually it's not a stupid concept. And there is a market for it with all the gender diversity that's going on, with all the pay gap, especially with the kind of nonsense that Brunei and all these other people are doing right now. In the third world, there's something to sell in terms of the social media platforms, looking at gender diversity into these areas. There's something to do, but you hit the nail on the head at the very end. You're not sexually engineered to push this. You need to have, and you've identified it yourself, you need to have a woman pushing an idea for a woman, at least with you on board. And until you close that gap, until a woman believes that with you, quite frankly, nothing's going to happen. But you've the good thing about it is that you've already identified that, and you were honest enough to say that this is just an idea. So that's why we didn't understand it, because it was just an idea. Because when we read the pre-pitch, we were all looking at each other like, what the hell is this? But now that you've explained that it's an idea, what I'd encourage you to do is find some women you trust. Not that we pay you to go and trust. Some women that you know that you trust, and put re-engineer this idea and bring it back and talk about it together with those women. That's what I'll say. But don't walk away feeling like, oh, people are laughing. We're not laughing at you. Actually admire your balls. And actually, sorry, I don't admire. Sorry. But one of the things I wrote down here was, if I look at your idea in terms of what you're looking at doing with platforms, and I look at the, let's say, lack of finesse that we have on the Bomadu side, or Bomadu, or whatever it is, I think if you two guys actually got together and looked at putting your platform into Bomadu or your ideas and having a chat about that, both of you you're missing something that the other has. And you could actually potentially come up with something more interesting for women, which is not necessarily for bank and mom and dad or something. I don't know, but there's a networking conversation that I think you two could benefit from having, even if it's to learn not to make the same mistakes or something. But I would encourage you to do that.
Okay. Donna, you were meant to be on the table as well at some point.
Was I?
Sure, to me. 1 minute. You're the woman Anthony referred to. What do you think?
I don't know if I'm qualified. So next time.
Next time. But you listen to his speech.
Yeah.
How great or not?
The last one?
Yes.
I didn't understand it. I didn't understand. I was trying really hard.
But you didn't?
No. Okay. And like Anthony said, at the end I got, it's at such an embryonic stage of an idea that it's not really a pitch. At the very last towards the end. And not that it's not a good idea, but it's so.
Do you want to make a comment?
Yeah, just a quick one. Yeah, so in terms of the idea falling into place, it's been a journey. My background as a computer scientist, worked in banking for several years, worked in venture capital advisory, supporting hundreds of businesses through their ideation, fundraising, etc. Currently I work within a corporate tech accelerator as an investment manager. And while at the Corporate Accelerator 3 days a week, I spend the other 4 days working on other projects or my ideas trying to bring to fruition. I know my big idea is fintech. It has to be the corporate sector, B2B, because everyone's doing B2C, the Revolut, the Monzos. It's underserved, and a couple of weeks ago, International Women's Day, I went to a few panels and listened, and it was clear that there was a huge opportunity. So they're underfunded and they overperform. I thought they outperformed the male counterparts. I thought, no brainer. And it wasn't until last week I realized I do need a female co-founder. And I started speaking to several females. There was a lady that was potentially meant to come with me. She's not feeling too well today, but I haven't secured one. So tonight was about feedback. Hopefully the females here into tech or finance, because building a bank, the whole regulatory framework, there's so much to it that I can't do on my own, and need the network.
I was going to say, when you start,
he needs a woman.
we need to find when you start a woman.
When you started, you see, I didn't know you were a computer engineer, hence
Yeah.
I'm wondering, you're building a platform, and I'm going, well, on what basis? But now that you tell me your background, I can now see, well, yeah, you could do it.
Yeah. And I'm not sure why you didn't make that pitch. Why you didn't. Okay, a round of applause for him. We are now officially out of time. But I want to say thank you to everybody for paying attention. It's been quite a journey, but we've learned a lot. There are a couple of few things we need to do. I need to listen to 1 or 2 people that want to say something, if there's any. I need you to complete this before you run away. I know that we're well out of time. But how has it been for people? Just before you run away, how has it been for people? How has it been? How has it been? Good. No, say it out, say it out. How has it been? How has it been? Please, can you put that in the feedback? We're planning to have a second version of this. And I'm sure that we will be able to do better. We will be able to refine it. If people follow the regulation, we'll be able to listen to more features. We'll be able to support and do a bit more better than today. Like I said at the start, this is the first of it. And the next one is planned for July 4th. We will share that with you. And please make sure that you network with people. In between that, we're planning to run a couple of masterclasses. So they are in your feedback form if you're interested. Please indicate. As you can see, there are a raft of people in the room that you can network with, that can help you, coaching. Some of these guys, some are in the room as well. There are a lot of senior people that I can see around as well. What else have I forgotten? I think this is important. And finally, it would be good to just say a good well done to the team. I have just come to steal the shine this night. As you all know, you all have been meeting, so they've met a couple of times to look at these pitches, to prepare for tonight, and to be serious about this. So thank you for investing time. A round of applause. I deliberately did not. I wanted to leave everything to the guys, and that brings me to the guys that have been running this on the ground. A couple of names I'm going to mention: Isaiah and Tokes. Can you just, by show of hands? I'm going to call Titi as well. Titi is our senior stakeholder. She's made some contribution this evening, so a round of applause for her as well. We've got Damola. Is Damola in the room? She was one of those that was up. Oh, she's at the back. We've got Femi doing timekeeping this night and always been part of the conversation. Round of applause for we've got my wonderful techie, Lorraine. Is that correct? We've got a couple of other members in the room for C4B as well. I've got Louis there as well. Louis around there in the wave of free. So my humble self again is Aya Conde. I used to work with the NHS up until last